offset and min is offset, and the date time from parts, date time offset from parts gets everything basically. Just that with everything that you see, there are new parameters that are getting added, but you can basically get everything from a part. And we also saw end of month function, which is again a new addition. We'll move on. Conversion functions, try-parse, one of the most favorite functions of mine in .NET and of many of you probably. So the same is available today with SQL actually. What does it do? We'll see. And also parse and try convert. Very quickly some examples. Okay, I have written try parse of one string text use, that's date time. Then I am giving a date kind of a thing, and I am saying try parse of float. Then I am saying random as decimal. So everything, it just returned null actually. It never threw me any error. If you'd have directly converted it, obviously you would have had errors thrown now actually. Okay. Now I am passing some valid date and a valid decimal. We'll see the output. You can see that the date is converted as it is a valid date, and the decimals are getting converted automatically, right? Now, what is the use of it? What is the big use of it? There was a tip also which I wrote some time back. We can very quickly see that here. I'm creating a table. There is already the table is there. It just has two columns. One is the ID with integer. There is another column named dirty column, which is varchar. Now, I have inserted some values: 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, L00. Remember that this is a string because it's anyway a varchar column data type, and 900. And I am doing a select pkid convert of that column from that table. Before we go further, let's quickly see what is there in the table. I just used Control 3 now because we have that query shortcut. You can see that L00 is there. Now, if I try and convert it to integer, what will happen? The entire query file saying that, because there is only one invalid row basically. Now that is no longer needed because you can just do a try parse of dirty column as int from that table. So you can see that that particular row has returned null. Whatever is valid has returned a valid data basically. Can you see the board? Okay. Now where else you can use this? You can use it in a var class where try parse of this is null to get all the invalid data. Assuming that you are doing some data migration from old system to a new system, or a X system to Y system, whatever, two different systems basically. You want to catch whenever there is a invalid data for your system. Simple, just put a var condition, retrieve them and tell them that, hey, you have given me invalid data here, right? Another very common application, this might go over the top, but I'm requesting you to give attention. Let me know if you want me to repeat. Now, this is a table named product actually. We can see that table. You can see here product ID and name and many other details. Now assume that that dirty column that we created is a foreign key to this product ID, right? So now how will you do a join? We all know that how to do a join. I'll write whatever I want to select and I'm doing an inner join on product ID equal to the column name. If I run this, I'll get the same error again because the dirty column is a varchar column and that product IDPK is an integer. So it is trying to convert that varchar to integer before it does the join basically. Right? Now comes the question, why will I actually do an inner join between something which has a text and a different thing? Is it really possible in real time? Very much possible. Many systems have a structure by which there is a combo box. What is a combo box? It can select a list item as an input, which is a lookup, or you can type some custom text actually. Both are possible in one single thing. Assume that in the DB it is represented by one single column, a varchar column. When you select a ID or a lookup from the drop down, it will store the ID. When you select a text or when you type a text, it stores the actual text. Right? So you will have a differentiating column which tells you whether it is a lookup type or a custom type actually. So these things are very common, and you will have this error when you have a varchar thing. Now how you can handle this today is, I ran it again, sorry. Here it is. Until now you need to explicitly convert that product ID to varchar basically, and then run it. It will give you the result actually. So you are converting that integer field to varchar basically. Instead of that, which is performance sensitive and so on, now instead of that you can just do product ID is equal to try parse of that varchar column. So what this will do is, it will leave out the custom objects or custom rows actually, gets you only wherever there is a match. Is it clear? Everyone? Cool. We'll move on. So now we have something called parse. This is another new function. Why are we talking about parse after try parse? Because parse becomes pretty easy after that. Dice, because I am directly converting the thing into using culture basically with the parse. Now with parse you can also do just like convert the culture info that we saw some time back basically. So this is pretty simple. Select parse of the date as date I am using Great Britain's culture, gives me the result. Parse of date I am using with US, gives me another result. I do a convert of date time to it dies. Instead of that I do a parse with the format, then it works. Or I can do a try convert with date time, then also it gives me null, because this is 2103. I have not specified any culture. So by default the culture of this instance is US culture, and in US there is no 21st month, so it is failing basically. Okay, so it is imperative that you use culture, and you know that now you have parse and you have convert functions that are available. Now a simple trick, even with the old convert, I'm doing 101, it still fails. I'll do a 103, fail or pass? Pass. Find out why. A small assignment after the seminar. So when you have a invalid datetime conversion, right, without specifying the culture, for 101 it will fail, for 103 it will pass. Find out why. Okay. We'll run now. Logical functions, if and only if and choose. Some people should be happy, I'm seeing some smiles. If and only if is again the same if and only if you have used for years in the programming programming languages. And choose is quite interesting. It's very interesting when you know how to use it in real time. So here is logic. We are not even halfway yet. Okay. Please stop me if and when you have questions. So if and only if, I'm saying that there is a date of birth variable DOB. I'm setting it to some date of birth, some date 4/19/2013. The last day when I took the seminar, declare @today as date. I'm saying set today equal to get date. So what will this do? It will set today's date in that variable today, right? Get date is what? Nothing but it gets the current date time basically. But as I have declared it as a date object only and not a date time variable, it will get only the date. That is another tip that I want you to optimize. Always when you create tables, if you are going to store only date and not time, use date instead of date time. Will save you a lot of memory, will save you a lot of processing, because that 0000, many of our grids will come and then our QA will file a error saying that 000 is coming. So you can avoid all that if you just simply use date. Then I'm saying select if and only if date of birth is equal to today, then I'm saying happy birthday, else some other day as wish. Let's run this and see. It returned me some other day. Why? Because DOB is this number, I mean this date, today is a different date, so it is giving some other day. So now what happens if DOB is same as today's date? This is 23, 25, okay. So I have assigned it as 25 now, running, and I am getting a happy birthday wish, right? So simple, if and only if the condition, the first output if it is the true output and the second argument is the false output. That's it. We'll run choose. So choose is based on index. Remember that SQL Server indexes are running from 1 and not from 0 like most of the programming languages. Now I have a comma separated list here. Set index is integer, index equal to 2. I am saying choose of index from this list. What do you think will be the output? CSK will be the output, because CSK has the second index. You see, that is what choose does. It's all very fancy, Satyan. Where am I going to use this in my real life programming? We'll see an example. I'm getting it down so that everybody can see at one go instead of we scrolling. Okay, so we have a table again, human resources. In this human resources schema, which is called person or employee, here it is. Okay, so it has a business entity ID and it has a organization level column, you can see here 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. What does that mean? You know that many organizations have a hierarchy, executives, then the management, then the senior management, then the managers, interns. We don't do that, so probably you are not aware, but many companies have it, and this organization level is one of the most important HR related things in their tables, basically in their internal tables. When it is there, what happens? I have a person table again. Here it is. This has the same business entity ID and the last name and first name of the person, basically. So the join is based on the business entity. Now what I want to do is, I want to list the person name, and then I want to say if the guy's organization level is 1, then I want to call it as senior management. If it is 2, then junior management or middle management. If it is 3, then the engineer. If it is 4, then I am going to say it as intern. At one go I want to select this, basically. What we used to do before is get everything, declare enums, then process in code and so on and so forth. You don't need to do all that now. Here is the example. Select p.business entity ID. I have also used that concat visa. What does concat do? It handles null automatically. First name, last name. Here it is. Choose organization level. This is the column name. Then I am saying executive, senior management, engineers and interns from the inner join. That's it. So when I run this, I get null for the first guy because his organization level is 0, basically. We discussed that because SQL starts from 1, basically. But if your data matches like other things, wherever there is 1, it is returned as executive. Wherever there is 2, it is returned as senior management. Wherever it is 3, it would have given me engineers. I'm scrolling down the data, you can see. And wherever it is 4, it will give me interns, basically. Pretty neat, huh? So you don't need a separate processing in your business logic, etc. So that is where you can choose, and I hope it is much more clear now than the simple CSK example. Okay, offset and fetch. This is important again. I'm not sure how many of you had a look at this step. I'll run this through this step actually. One of the most common problems that every developer has is pagination actually. I do a pagination at my grid level, or whatever that I'm using at client side, at server side, or whatever, but most of the times, every time the SQL query will fetch the entire data set, and then I'm cutting short it only in client or server. If I want to include pagination in SQL Server, we all know that with entity, of course, you have that skip, etc. available today, but before that, every time you had to manually do that row object, row number, and then you do that pagination via stored procedure, which is very, very difficult and time consuming basically. That is not the case anymore. We can do it very easily today. Suraj is asking me to sit. Okay, here it is. We'll also see a sample again. You can look at the tip again when you have your hands on this PowerPoint. We need to do offset now. So this is select the product table. All right. So you can see that it has returned me 504 rows. Let me zoom it out. So it's a simple select, nothing else. A simple select, order by cell and date actually. And you can see that it has returned me 504 rows. Just for some purpose, we will find out what is the 101st row. 101st row is with product ID 422. So in my next query, what I am going to say is offset 100 rows. This is a keyword. Unfortunately, Management Studio is still not recognizing that it is a keyword and not turning it to blue. Then I am saying fetch next 10 rows only. What happens now when I run this? So it has skipped the first 100 rows. We saw that the 101st row add up product ID of 422, and from that the 10 rows are selected out. So very simple. All you had to do was offset the number of rows, fetch next how many rows only. That's it. Now how is this useful from a programming standpoint? Very simple. We'll go back to the tip. I'm going to convert this variable and that variable into variables, skip count and page count. I'm setting skip count equal to 100, page count equal to 10. I create a stored procedures with these two, offset as skip count, fetch next as page count. Then I can pass these two variables from my code actually. End of it, right? Very simple pagination with offset and fetch. Clear everyone? Questions? Okay, we'll proceed. Sequence. This is interesting again. Everybody knows what is identity, I'm sure. Everybody is using an identity column, right? Most of your